right, we're back.
We're
back
back,
for the
baby.
second episode. It's been what, like 4 weeks since we last recorded. It was since we last talked. I haven't talked to you in forever.
Oh no, it's been a
Jesus.
minute. It's been we've
But
had some unforeseen circumstances arise.
yeah. Hey, all it means is we got a lot to talk about. You know,
Yes,
we got
sir.
a lot of shit to cover here.
Oh, yes, we
So yeah,
do.
episode 2 of Dinger and the Mustache.
Shit.
I am Dinger. If you don't know or haven't picked that up, that would be the mustache.
I am the mustache, yes, sir.
I'm calling you that this whole episode, by the way.
It's the last remnants of what I have of leave, man. I had the full beard and I wanted to keep it, and they wouldn't. Obviously, I'm in the army, so they wouldn't let me keep it, and so
That makes sense.
So,
I mean,
I can
regulations,
have
you know.
I can have my pedo stash just by the
It's cool. Hey, if anyone listening doesn't ever want to own their body, wants to sell their body to the American government, hit up Pat. He's my guy.
Yeah, I know a couple of recruiters. I'll shoot you some links, you know.
Send you some links. Speaking of things that I call you, I guess I do want to just apologize, I suppose, to one of our listeners in particular who brought up the point that your name's actually Patrick.
Mm-hmm.
And I call you Pat.
Mm-hmm.
And I suppose, you know, to me, you've always been Pat since I've like known you since we were, I don't know how big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like, I feel like I've come a long way, right? Like this is where we're filming this podcast now off of a 6-month stint or whatever, where I called you Pete. So I feel like Pat is like halfway, you know?
Yeah,
it's a common middle ground.
Yeah, we're making progress through the 12-step program here.
One of these days we'll get there. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there for that particular listener who has a very fine taste of kitchen appliances. So anyway, that's for her.
All right, let's jump into this shit, Dinger.
We back.
We
covered that. We out here, boy.
So how long has it been? What, 4 weeks since we actually sat down and had a fucking conversation?
Yeah, a real talk about anything. So I know, we had two F1 races.
2.
And we got one this week.
Yeah, I know we talked in the last episode, we mentioned that Monaco is upcoming. And so we've already gone through Monaco, a week off, and Azerbaijan, and another week off.
Azerbaijan is Baku, right? That's the same thing.
Baku is the name of the
Baku.
Yeah, the track. Which was, in my opinion, the most exciting race of the year so far, hands down.
It was heartbreaking.
Oh, I think I think I shed a couple I know when we were watching it and we were on the phone together during it, you were a little bit ahead of me, and all I hear you go is, "Oh no!"
Dude, I mean, like, so yeah, I'm relatively new to F1, right? Relatively new to the sport. I'm not sure if I really have a favorite driver at this point, but to watch a man lead practically the whole race, and then on lap 48 of 51, sends it into the wall.
48 of 53, yeah.
Yeah, for nothing that was his fault.
Nothing he could control. His hard compound tire, same one as Lance Stroll, like 20 laps earlier.
All my homies hate Lance Stroll.
All the homies hate Lance Stroll. It just blew, and like Max is my favorite driver, and Red Bull's my favorite team, and it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking for sure, because he deserved that win. You know, he took the lead on like the second lap because he wasn't pole.
Yeah, no, it was Charles again that took pole, right? But then he got shithouse the first corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a street track. Street tracks are definitely like my favorite. They're more exciting, except for Monaco. That was honestly a little boring.
Monaco's a snooze fest, and that's for a bunch of different, not really a bunch of different reasons. It's pretty simple. It's because the car's too big. Back in the day when they did Monaco, you could pass because the car wasn't at the size of a fighter jet. And now the car's too.
Are those cars actually that big?
They're too wide. They're very wide. They're very, very wide.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so there's no room to pass anybody on there. There was like 3 or 4 overtakes the whole race. I mean, one overtake the first lap, and it was the 2 back markers. And
Right.
then Seb coming out of the pits overtook Gasly.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and they were wheel to wheel coming up that corner, and Gasly had to let off so he didn't throw it into the wall. It was basically a game of chicken at that point. But Azerbaijan was fun. I enjoyed watching that race. Lots of
It was
action,
exciting.
lots of passing, good podium.
Dude, honestly, I think qualifying might have been more exciting than the actual race.
Qualifying was exciting too.
5 red flags.
Mm-hmm. It just like in Monaco, it ended on a red flag from a Ferrari.
Yep.
I think it's a
Yes,
strat. I think it's a strat at this point.
Carlos was just like, look, get the lead, fuck everybody.
He hops on the radio. Hey, dude, I have pole, but I'm not gonna be fastest here. I need someone to send it into the wall. I did it last week. Can we get Carlos to do it this week? Thanks.
Appreciate you.
I would appreciate it.
All right, but we got France coming up, and I want to talk about this real quick for anybody that's stuck with us this long. So we got France coming up, and Pat does this thing on Twitter. If you don't follow Pat on Twitter, you should, because it's hilarious just because of how dumb he is. But he does this thing on Twitter where he does F1 hot takes, like he thinks he's some hot shit announcer, right?
Uh-huh.
And so he did it for France this week, and he put out the coldest hot takes I've ever seen in my life.
Maybe I think I just misunderstood what hot takes were, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it was, bro, but like what you said, one of your hot takes, I believe, I'm quoting, the race will be a snooze fest.
Yeah, it will be. Maybe I need to change the wording from hot takes to predictions. How about that?
I was going to say, dude, yeah, you're predicting the race is going to be a snooze fest. That's a prediction, sure. But that gets me super excited to watch it.
Okay. Well, I fixed it.
You did fix it. You did fix it.
I'm gonna read them off for the listeners.
Let's hear your hot take. Your real hot take.
Real hot takes. These are spicy. Most of these probably won't happen. So here we go. Number 1, we got Lando Norris on pole.
So I mean, he could. He is good enough. He could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. So Paul Ricard, France, right, is a super speedway, pretty much, right? It's more of a traditional racetrack than it is a street circuit.
Yes, it's sort of like Monza in a way. Lots of big straights, couple tight chicanes.
Yeah, McLaren, their car as a team, they have the capacity to. Mm-hmm. But I think what I told you is Pierre Gasly on the podium somewhere. I could see him actually taking pole over Lando just because he's in that Scuderia, which also has a Honda engine, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's essentially a Red Bull car with a different paint job.
A different paint job, and then obviously different teams to do the all the other parts that go into driving the car. Essentially, the only thing that's similar to the Red Bull car is the engine, or the powertrain itself. But yeah, they have a good team. They have a good car, and Pierre's been on fire.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, McLaren, obviously, they're still a major, quote unquote, major constructor, right? They're not top 3, maybe, but
I mean, they're fighting for top 3 right now, which is really cool.
Exactly.
And I like to see that because, going back in F1 history, McLaren was a very competitive team. They've won multiple constructors championships. So it'd be nice to see teams like that coming back up because in the last, 7 years, it's been Red Bull and Mercedes and then everybody else.
Let me ask you one more question about McLaren real quick.
Okay.
How many dicks would you suck to drive a P1?
I'm gonna go a solid 15 dicks.
Wow, we're in double digits.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know, man.
If they came up, are we talking to completion, whole like sucking dick?
I mean, you're the one sucking dick, not me.
If they came up to me and they're like, hey, we'll give you an entire day, dawn to dusk.
Yeah.
On a track. as many tires as you want, as many fuel ups as much. And if you crash, you get a new car. And you get to drive this car all fucking day.
Yeah.
But you gotta gobble down 15 glizzies.
15 of them. Damn. All right. That's a.
I might gobble down 15 glizzies. I'd at least consider it. You know?
15. Because, like, at some point you get fatigued, right? Like, you're like, oh my God, this is only number 8.
The jaw starts to cramp up, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know. I mean, I'd at least consider it for sure.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. Second hot take.
Second hot take. Max Verstappen wins, but he will not lead 95% of the race.
Obviously, like, he is potentially favored to win the race. Not leading 95% and still winning the race, though, is a feat and a half.
I think we're gonna have really good top grid order battles like 1 through 4 this week. I think unless someone just pulls away, I think we could see a lot of ends. Obviously, it'll come down to pit stop strategy and what they do with tires and stuff and safety cars, all that other shit. But I could see Max not leading this race and coming out and pulling one out of his ass.
I think it's gonna depend pretty heavily on if Mercedes can pull their head out of their ass or not. You know, if Valtteri Bottas has given up, I don't know.
Yeah, and that brings me to my third hot take. Both Mercedes out of the points this week.
That's a big one. I like that take though. I really do, and I would like to see it. So I mean,
I would love to see it. It's just I don't know if it was because they were on street circuits. I don't know if it's because they got a new engine. I don't know what they've done to that car in the last 2 races. It has not been fast.
It's not. It doesn't have the pace to keep up with a Red Bull. It barely has the pace to keep up with the rest of the pack.
And
I think they got a bad car.
They might have. Either they have a bad car or Red Bull has an absolute behemoth of a vehicle this year.
It's the Flexi Wing.
It's got to be the Flexi Wing. But one of the things I noticed at Azerbaijan was, Checo defended against Lewis really well, and
for 15,
the whole
laps.
the whole race basically. And there was multiple times down that straight where Lewis was within a second, had DRS, had the toe, and still couldn't pass Checo.
Yeah.
The only chance he had was to pass him on that restart, and he fucked it. He sent it into a wall.
Let's take a look at that.
Hamilton alongside him on the front row. Perez gets away well. Hamilton will wheel spin. Sebastian Vettel is coming at them as well. Perez tries to cut off Hamilton, who locks up and goes straight on. Perez leads from Sebastian Vettel, and then comes Pierre Gasly and Charles Leclerc, and Hamilton has gone from second in the race to falling out of the point.
What? Did I have magic on? Just knock that off. I could have sworn I turned it off. You did, but knocked it on.
So fourth hot take, now that we've shit on Mercedes enough, because it's just
I don't know if there's such thing, but
that's true. Fourth hot take, Ocon, Schumacher, and Latifi DNF.
I liked the take, but 3 whole cars not finishing at a speedway, not on a street track.
There's not a lot of walls to hit, so they're gonna have to hit other cars. Is going to be the thing.
Other cars I could see,
which could lead to even more DNFs than those 3. Like,
or just like lose it into the gravel, right?
There's not a lot of gravel on that track. Everything
that's true.
Everything that's outside the track, because it's a test track. Don't quote me on this, but I think it's a BMW test track, and there's just a bunch of street everywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. It's painted street, but
yeah, it's also hideous. But like if Schumacher hits someone else, the only person Schumacher's racing is Mazepin,
his teammate,
because that Haas is a horrible vehicle. Horrible vehicle.
Lord Beer Haas strength, please.
Oh God, they need it. And what's really depressing about Haas is I'm rewatching Drive to Survive. Haas was competing for 5th, 4th, and 3rd place at times on the Constructors' Championship. They had a good car, and they had 2 really good drivers with Romain and Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah, agreed.
And
Completely agree.
they were like, well, we're not making any money. We're not winning any races. We're not competing for any races right now because our car is trash. What do? We're going to cut both our drivers, and we're going to bring in 2 drivers who are going to bring a lot of sponsors with them, because you have
And make the car work.
Mick Schumacher, whose dad is arguably the best F1 driver of all time.
Yes.
And Nikita Mazepin, whose dad is filthy, stupid rich and a communist. And
Yes.
then
Also, yeah.
And then Haas sells out, the American team, the only American team on the grid. They sell out, and they put a Russian paint job on that car. All my homies hate Russia.
All of them. Every single one, bro. We'll get into that later. Your boy got scammed.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll get there. All right, you got one more hot take.
One more hot take. Yeah. George Russell finishing in the points this week. He's going to have a good quali. He's going to get to at least Q2 like he has in all the weeks. And I think that while that Williams car is another dog shit vehicle, I think he could pull one out of his rectum and finish in the points.
His tight little boy hole.
Yeah. Probably shouldn't
I don't
say
know,
that.
man. I don't know if he can or not. It's our podcast.
That's true.
I think that Williams is just a bad car. You know?
Which is another team like McLaren, which is sad to see because Williams is either the second or the third oldest team on the grid. They've
been super successful.
They've won championships.
Yeah.
And
They're just not doing it right now.
I don't know. I can't remember their drivers off the top of my head, but you have McLaren, who had Niki Lauda, multiple-time world champion. Ayrton Senna, multiple-time world champion, considered one of the best drivers all time. RIP, died too early, you know. But
I don't know any of those people.
yeah, Ayrton Senna was a driver for Ferrari and McLaren, and he died at
He was Brazilian, right?
Yes, and died at Monza. No, not Monza, excuse me. Imola,
Oh, gotcha.
the other Italian track. And a crash that, in my opinion, when I watched it, didn't look that bad. But
It's those old F1 cars, dude. I mean, like, doesn't look that bad, but when your body goes 180 to 0 instantly.
the safety measures and precautions that they've taken to protect drivers in these cars nowadays is incredible. The Halo system, I know a lot of drivers when it first came out, like Max and Kevin, I actually watched an interview with them the other day when they first introduced the Halo, they hated it. But I don't think nowadays, if you were to ask a single F1 driver on the grid what they think about the Halo, I don't think they would have any negative things to say about it because it saves lives. And it doesn't weigh that much. It's made out of titanium and it's super strong.
Is that the shit they wear on their shoulders?
No, that's the thing that covers the cockpit. So the thing that comes up the side and protects them from like.
Oh.
So like if there's a midair crash and a car flips, the fucking wheel's not going to hit them in the face. It's going to go.
Or
over.
if they flip, they're not skidding on their forehead.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's basically a cockpit in the sense. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So those are my hot takes, man, for France. Paul Rickard.
Like I said, your second revision of hot takes, I liked it a lot better. I liked them a lot better.
The first ones were soft. You were right, and were not hot. They were ice cold. So, like Kimi Räikkönen.
The Iceman, baby.
But I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to France this weekend. Should be a good race. I mean, I look forward to all the races. So.
Agreed. I mean, it's the only thing that we have to watch now that the fucking boys are out.
That's part of the reason this episode is taking so long, because we were going to record the day they got knocked out of the playoffs. So
yeah, we couldn't do that.
I was
We
not
emotional.
I was in a deep state of depression. which is
We got into it with our boy on Twitter though. What was his name?
oh, dude.
Man in the box.
Man in the box on Twitter. I got into a little
This
bit of
guy.
a little bit of a tweeter argument, a little bit of a tweeter fight, you know.
He came out of nowhere though.
Well, out of left field, I didn't know. The funniest thing is my tweet had no hashtags, no ats, nothing. All it said was Colorado sports never cease to disappoint, and that was it. And I tweeted that after the Nuggets got swept, and I don't even fucking watch basketball.
I noticed that, and I was like, "This can't be about the ass." But yeah,
No.
like he was deliberately searching Colorado sports, anything
Something.
to shit on people.
And he saw my tweet, and I'm going to read his first response. And I'm just going to leave it at that because this is a long Twitter fight.
Yeah, like I said, follow Pat on Twitter and you'll find it.
So my at is Patrick Cusson 3. Very simple. So he said, because you guys are a bunch of douchebags that will get their ass kicked by any state in America, enjoy snowboarding, Brody. Hey, man in the box, who hurt you? You know, who hurt you?
Show me on this doll.
Who hurt you and where?
That's just why.
I said my tweet had nothing to do with him, nothing to do with anything other than the fact that it's true. We had like
It wasn't even a bad tweet. Like it was just like, I'm disappointed in Colorado sports, which is true.
I am. I'm constantly am, you know, ever since the Broncos won the Super Bowl, everything's been downhill. Nothing. The Avs have gotten better, but in the last 3 playoffs, they've been knocked out in the second round. So I'm disappointed. The Rockies suck. I mean, the Rapids are okay this year, and I don't watch the MLS. So, and they're not even my favorite team.
I don't know what to say to that. I'm not going to say anything. We're going to pass.
Anyway.
All right, moving on. Pat rides an airplane.
Oh God. So, like we said in the beginning, we haven't recorded in a while.
I've been waiting on this too. You wouldn't tell me.
Yeah,
so this is going to be genuine.
This is genuine. I haven't told Logan any of the experiences I had on this. So part of the reason we weren't able to record for so long was I got the opportunity to take a prisoner from our jail that I work at. He was getting transferred. Our jail is a temporary facility. So I had the opportunity to take him back to Kansas, where I used to work, and drop him off and get him to the permanent jail that he needed to be at. So that obviously means that I had to get on an airplane and take him to Kansas. And if you think about it, should have been a very, very easy thing. And it turned out to be the greatest example of Murphy's Law of all time. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And it did the whole time.
That's science.
That's science. That's a fact. So it didn't start out well. Like from the beginning, there was something wrong, and we could tell there was a feeling in the air. And I talked to my sergeant that I did this with afterward, and we knew like there's something fucky going on. But I'm gonna run y'all from the very start all the way through. Day one. This was supposed to take 2 days. It took 4. Day one. Day one, Monday, Korean time. In the morning, get up, get dressed, get my happy ass over to the jail, pick up the inmate, get in the van. We drive to Incheon International Airport, which is just right outside Seoul. Everything's going smooth. We get our tickets. We get through we didn't get through security. That's the first issue, right? So we get through customs, and then we get to security, which is like Korean TSA or whatever, right? So put my bag through.
Is it not just the TSA?
No, TSA is an American thing, so it's just the Koreans.
Oh, I thought it was global.
Nope, TSA is an American agency. So run my bag through. I'm chilling, everything's good. And then this Korean lady that's going through my bag, she goes, "Can you open your bag for me?" And I go, must be the soap. I must have put too big of a bottle of shampoo in there, right? Something simple. something easy. I'm going to take the shampoo out. They're going to take it. I see the scan, which is not like it is in the States. You don't get to see what the scan is when you go through TSA, but I'm very well versed to be using an X-ray scanner for my job. And I see it. I see two bright blue objects. And I just think to myself, oh, fuck. Because I knew exactly what they were. I could tell exactly what it was. And my bag that I used to use was a range bag. I used to take it shooting. I knew that preparing myself for this trip, and I cleared it. I checked all my pockets. Apparently I didn't check them well enough because I had 2 live rounds in my backpack. I had a 45 and a 9mm round. And apparently that's not cool. Apparently
explosives and airplanes go together perfect.
Apparently airports, especially in Korea where guns are illegal, apparently that's not cool. That's not cool. So I'll actually grab my bag to show you where they were. So I have all these pockets, all of them, and I checked all of them. The bullets were in my back pocket where the straps hide, all the way tucked underneath in the bottom of the bag. I don't know how they got there. I don't know why they were still there. I don't know how the bag passed customs the first time I came through to get to Korea. But there was 2 bullets in there. That just goes to show how worthless TSA is. But 2 bullets. I get pulled to the
Korean
side.
does better.
I get pulled to the side. I'm getting interviewed by police officers. I'm getting interviewed by airport security. And they finally bring in the United States Forces Korea liaison to come talk to me. And he's like, he pulls me to the side. All the Koreans really didn't speak a whole lot of great English. So he's pure. He's speaking English, and he goes, hey, quietly, he looks at me and he goes, I need a reason. And I go, what do you mean? He's like, I need a reason why you have these bullets. And I was like, it's my range bag. I just came back from the range a couple of weeks ago. And he was like, he talked to the Korean guy. He was like, okay. I fill out a paper for explosive ordnance disposal. They take it and the bullets are gone. Crisis averted. I'm like, okay. If anything's going to go wrong this whole trip, we got it out of the way early at security. We still have 2 hours to get to our gate. We're chilling. Get to the gate, sit down, waiting for the plane. They bring us to the secure holding area so we don't have to sit with everybody else. With our guy in full shackles and stuff. And I get an email from American Airlines. Your flight has been delayed 1 hour. I was like, all right, probably some weather in Dallas. We'll be fine. Flight delayed another hour. 1900 rolls along. Plane was supposed to leave at, I believe, 1600, 4 o'clock.
Jesus.
And flight canceled.
Oof.
Flight canceled. So I was like, all right, flight canceled. What the fuck? Like, is there another? We go talk to the American Airlines. Like, is there another airline flying to Dallas today? Is there anything we can do to get this to work? No, there's nothing else. Unfortunately, flight's canceled. You guys are on the first flight out of here to Dallas tomorrow. We've already changed your tickets. We've changed your connecting flights. Everything's fixed for you. They offered us a hotel, but we couldn't stay in a hotel with the prisoner. So we called back to base, and they came and picked us up, came back, stayed in my room. Woke up the next day, straight back to the jail, pick him up, and they realize, oh shit, his COVID test is not valid anymore because you had to have a COVID test within 72 hours. So first thing in the morning, we're already running into issues. Take him to the facility or the clinic to go get a COVID test. They give us a rapid. Boom, 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 good to go. Take him to the airport. We're sitting in the airport. That's when I was watching the hockey game, and I taught Koreans how to watch hockey.
No bullets in your bag this time?
No bullets in the bag this time. I'm just sitting at the gate watching hockey with this Korean lady. Because I'm getting loud, right? I'm getting pumped up. This is when we were winning games.
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you watching? And she sat behind me and watched some old Korean lady. And I was like, I'm watching hockey. So I explained hockey to her, and then she left. It was like 20 minutes. It was kind of a funny experience. But so sitting in the gate, bam, get an email. Your flight has been delayed. And I was like, here we fucking go. Because the flight was canceled. It wasn't delayed because of weather. It was delayed because the plane was broken. And this is the same plane that was from yesterday. Same airlines, same exact airplane.
Makes sense.
We were supposed to take off at 10:30 in the morning. We didn't take off until 5:30 in the afternoon.
Jesus.
So we sat in the airport at the gates the whole day waiting for the flight to get us where we needed to go. They ended up not using that plane. The flight that was coming from Dallas landed, refueled, and we got on that plane and they were going to fly back. This is where another issue arises. The crew that was on that plane had been working too long, and the longest that American Airlines would allow them to fly us to LAX. So instead of going to Dallas, where our connecting flight was, so we could get to Kansas City to get our prisoner to Kansas to the jail, we landed in LAX and we had a 2-hour layover in LAX. And for all the listeners out there who have ever flown, I don't know if you've been to LAX. It is the worst airport I have ever been to in my entire fucking life. And it would have been easy if we didn't have to go through customs. And so we landed, went through customs all the way out to the front of the airport, done, like we're leaving the airport for the day. That's not the case. We needed to get back on the same, it was the exact same plane. They just needed to change crews. So jet lagged. I just left Korea at 5:30 in the afternoon, landed in LA at like noon. The same day, the same day, technically.
Yeah.
So I'm jet lagged. It's still daytime outside. I didn't sleep very much on the plane. And so we go all the way out and then we go back into the American Airlines place. We're like, hey, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And that we weren't supposed to like get out or anything. They're like, well, you had to go through customs. I'm like, no shit. And they're like, give us your bags. Take the bags. They're like, where your flight? Like, we know where your flight's going. We have all the information. Here you go. And we're like, what about our connector? How are we getting to? We're supposed to get to Kansas City. And they were like, there's no flights out of Dallas for the rest of the day to Kansas City. None. 0. So we fly from, well, that's not all of it. TSA in LA really fucked us too. They wanted us to show us our marshal badges, which we don't have. And so we went through, it took us about 45 minutes just to get through TSA in LAX. And it was a nightmare. But we finally got through, got on the plane, fly to Dallas. Perfect. We're in Dallas. We're waiting for our bags. They're like, your bags aren't coming. Why? Oh, we flew them to Kansas City for you. Fly us to Kansas City. So our bags, we didn't have any of our shit. Nothing. I smell like shit. I don't have anything to shower with. I have no change of clothes. I've just been on the plane for the last 15 hours.
Yep. I've been there.
So dropped all the shit off. The issue that arose is, what are we going to do with the prisoner? We can't take him to a hotel.
Yeah.
We can't take him to a hotel. So we had 3 plans, right? First plan, Dallas DFW has their own jail. So we're like, cool, we're just going to leave him there for the night. They were full.
Yeah.
Their jail was full in an airport. So I don't know what the fuck happened that day, but
What's going on in Dallas?
I don't know.
People, control yourselves.
You guys get to stop wearing your masks and you lose your fucking mind.
Seriously.
So we call Grapevine Police Department. Shout out to the boys at Grapevine Police Department. They're the realest homies of all time. They're like, they're the shit. They came and picked us up. We dropped our prisoner off at their jail, which is just right outside the airport. It's the town right there. And they're not the captain, but the lieutenant it was a captain. The captain that was working that night, the watch commander for the shift. He was like, all right, there's lots of hotels around here. You guys go hop in my squad car. I'm gonna take you to the hotel. I'm like, fucking let's go. Takes us to the hotel. He was like, what kind of hotel you guys want to stay in? Like, we don't have to pay for it, so we don't really care. I was just like, something normal, like something not shitty, but something not like overly expensive. Like Holiday Inn. Get me to a Holiday Inn.
Something with a bed. Yeah.
Something with a bed. I want to sleep. It's 10 o'clock at like 10:30, almost 11 o'clock at night at this point. So he takes us to the Holiday Inn. No vacancies.
Full.
There's another, I don't remember what it was. There's another hotel right next to it. We walk over. No vacancies.
Oh my god.
He left after we went to the second one. He left. He's like, you like after we went to the first one, he dropped us off and left. He's
Yeah.
like, have a good night. I have no cell service. I can't look anything up, and the hotel doesn't have Wi-Fi because I'm not a guest, so I can't connect. So I walk up to these people. There's 4 people at the hotel bar at the second hotel, drunk as shit, hammered, absolutely smacked, and they're like late 40s into their 50s, smacked. And I walk up to them, and we're in Texas. My sergeant I'm with wasn't comfortable going up and talking to them because he is black and didn't want to do it. So he was uncomfortable doing it, like just walking up to them and just like starting a conversation because they were very visibly drunk.
Fair enough. You're in Texas too. Like,
And we're in Texas. So I walk up to them and I'm like, hey, my name is Specialist Patrick Cusson. I'm with the U.S. Army. I just came here from Korea. My phone doesn't work. I need to call the police department so they can come pick me up and take me to a new hotel. And this guy just starts giving me shit. He was like, how do I know who you are? You are who you say you are. And I was like, I'll show you my ID. And he was like, okay. So I show him my military ID. And he was like, why do you need to do this? And I'm like, I don't need to explain my whole situation to you. I just need to use your phone so I can call the police. And he was like, well, I work in telecommunications and I know that sometimes I work in Tamela. I work in telecommunications and I know that when you call certain numbers, sometimes you can breach everybody's security. Or everybody's secure data on their phone. I was like, hey, brother, I'm not a hacker.
bro. I just need to call the police so I can get to a new hotel because this fuck ass hotel doesn't have any rooms. And his buddy, who was also drunk behind him, he's like, oh, well, I have a secure line. My line's secure. This is good. Let me help you out.
Yeah, I have a secure line. And I was like, okay, can I just use your
got a really big dick.
I pulled out the business card too. I'm like, I'm calling the cops. Can I use your fucking phone?
Yeah.
And finally, I called them. I'm like, hey, sir, I'm really sorry. These 2 hotels had no vacancies. Could you come pick us up so we can get to a new hotel? Bing, bang, boom, no problem. We get to a new hotel. They have rooms. In for the night. Done. Finally, the shit show should be over. We get through Dallas, get through security, no problem. Get on the plane, no problem. We sit on the tarmac for a fucking hour because they didn't have the flight manifest. Fine. Finally get to Kansas City. It's 6:30 in the afternoon on Wednesday. I was supposed to get there Monday evening. So technically I left Sunday American time, get there Monday evening American time. It was just a whole fuck fest of shit. There's nothing else happened after we got to Kansas City. Thank God. We got our rental car, dropped the guy off, dropped my sergeant off so he could go to Atlanta to see his family. And I was there. I had missed 3 days of leave and that was it. And the flight home had no issues.
And lost 90% of your brain cells, I'm sure.
Oh God. I'm not going to talk about it because it's not something I want to talk about here, but the prisoner I was with was not the most pleasant person to be around. He was the most annoying motherfucker ever.
I can imagine.
So that's Pat Rides a Plane for everybody.
Pat rode many planes in that story. Holy fuck, dude. My favorite part of the guys in Texas, I work in telecoms.
Good for you, bro. What are you doing in Dallas? You here for a fucking get together? Like,
let me suck you off if I can use your phone.
Is there a conference I need to fucking attend so I can get to be as cool as you?
Right. Shit.
So yeah, that was that experience. And then I quarantined for 14 days and we couldn't record. And
yes,
now
also,
we're here.
Yeah, the quarantine. And here we are, babies.
Here we are.
Also, the Avs lost, which set us back another few days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've been moving. I live with my parents now. If you may notice the change of scenery here.
A little bit of different change of scenery. Yeah. Chilling in the parents' basement, brother.
Yep, I moved back in with Papa Dinger. It's sick, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah. It's just life sometimes, man.
I guess I don't know.
Well, and you're unemployed too. So
Oh, super unemployed, bro.
uh,
I'm the Donald Trump of unemployed. No one's more unemployed than me. All right.
how's the job search going?
I don't know, man. I had like a interview, like just the first interview, I guess, with this company. Super excited about it. I did really well with it too. Like met the guy and he's like, oh yeah, like I worked for the IT department in college too. And I was like, weird. Like he studied political science. Like we were pretty much the same exact person. And haven't heard from him in 2 weeks. So he's like, yeah, here's the next steps. So I'll be sending you an email. And I was like, okay.
Did you contact him?
Nothing. Yeah. So last week I was like, hey, sent him an email last week, a couple of days after I talked to him. And I was like, hey, thanks for taking your time and everything. And looking forward to this opportunity. Didn't hear anything back. I sent him another email this afternoon and just said, like, it's been 2 weeks. Hopefully, I'm still in consideration. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Part of me is like, at this point, I might just go work at a restaurant, serve some food, be a bartender or something, just because like
Make
why
ends
not?
meet for a little bit. Why not?
It's an income, yeah. So, but for now, it's just me in this basement.
What about the Bitcoin job that you had? Oh shit.
All right. So what is this one? Dinger gets scammed. Fuck. Yeah. So I've been using this job website and it's for startup companies, right? And honestly, the more I think about it, like I'm not entirely sure it was a scam. It might have been a real opportunity that I just fucked away, but it was weird. It was weird as shit. And I'm glad that I don't have it. Whatever. Anyway, so I've been using this website for startup companies, specifically cryptocurrency startup companies, right? So I had this job offer. This recruiter reached out to me. He's like, hey man, we think you're perfect for this job. Go ahead and reach out to our HR lady at this link. And it was a link for Telegram, right? Which is a lot like WhatsApp. It's just an encrypted texting service.
It's from
Like,
Twitter.
okay.
It's from Twitter, right?
I don't know what it's through, but
Michael Goulet.
Anyway. Michael Goulet. Yep, there you go. I'm gonna keep going though.
Yeah.
So downloaded the app, reached out to their HR lady, and I was like, hey, this recruiter just reached out to me, said he was interested in me for this position. I'd like to look into it and all this good stuff. She's like, oh, perfect. So here's what the job is. She like explained the job to me. She's like, well, go ahead and put you in contact with our IT guy and get you set up with a home office. And I was like, we're skipping a pretty important step here.
I have a slight development in this story real quick.
Okay, hit me.
Telegram was originally owned by Nikolai Durov, a Russian national.
I can't even hit my desk because it's not put together yet.
Oh shit.
Well, that makes it even better. So here we go. Yeah, anyway, she was like, we'll get you set up with the IT guy and we'll get you set up with a home office. I was like, no interview. Bear in mind, this job on the website said it paid $95K a year.
Sheesh.
And I didn't have to interview for that? Weird. Okay. So she's like, reach out to this guy. He'll be your contact for getting set up. I was like, okay, sure. So at this point, I'm starting to get a little weirded out. Like I never had to interview for anything. Kind of strange, especially for making that much money. So I reached out to this guy the next day and I was like, hey, I was told to contact you about this job and whatever and getting set up, I guess. And he started walking me through. He's like, yeah, no problem. Well, okay. So I guess first things first, right? Everyone that I talked to was super European.
Oh, yeah.
They spoke English. So I don't know if they spoke English or if it was just translated through the app, but it was coming through in English. but it was like not correct English and not proper at all, right?
Yeah, super like broken European English, right?
I mean, like I don't like the term broken English, but yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So the second guy like starts talking to me. He's like, yeah, we'll get you set up with the home office. And then he started asking me like some weird questions. He's like, one of the questions he asked me, are you trustworthy? I was like, this is something you should ask maybe in the interview.
Yeah.
And this is all happening through the text app, right? Not once did I ever talk to someone over the phone or face to face or anything. So he's like, are you trustworthy? Can you be trusted with company money? I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess. Like I handled contracts and stuff in my last job. He's like, okay, perfect. I was like, great. He's like, so here's what we're going to do. He said, we're going to place an order for all this equipment for your home office in your name with this company. And then we're going to write you a check and send you a check for this equipment that you can cash. And he made a big deal about it. He's like, you're going to cash this check immediately. I was like, okay, no problem. I know how a bank works. He's like, have you ever used mobile deposit? I was like, I guess if that's how you want me to do it, I can mobile deposit the check from my phone. He's like, yeah, okay. He's like, who do you bank with? And I was like, Chase Bank. He's like, oh, okay. Do you have another bank? I was like, motherfucker. So this is where I started to lose it a little bit.
Yeah, you started to have doubts and like this shit's weird.
Yeah. And I asked him, I was like, who, I mean, like, I do have 2 bank accounts, right? But I was like, who has 2 bank accounts? Who banks with 2 different people? And that's when he started getting hostile towards me. And that's when I was like, something's wrong here, right? The equipment that he was going to order me, he sent me like the list of equipment that he was going to order, and it was top of the line equipment, like
tech, like tech stuff.
Yeah, computer and monitors and everything, borderline NASA setup. And so I was like, I mean, I get it's a cryptocurrency job. You need big computers to handle cryptocurrency, anything, right? Mining it, whatever. Customer support, though, is just sending emails back and forth. You
Right.
don't need anything serious for that.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of strange. And then he sent me the invoice, or I got the invoice for the tech equipment, and it was $13,000. So this company's going to write me a check for $13K that I then have to go cash
A company that you've never spoken to.
and then pay for the equipment that they ordered me to, a company that I never once have talked to anyone over Zoom, on the phone, nothing. So at this point, I realized all these Europeans were asking me to launder money through my bank account.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
Yeah.
You worked for the Russian mob, bro.
Just about. I didn't. I cut it off just before.
Did you say anything to him, or did you just exit right there?
No, so I was belligerent by that point with some adult beverages.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a word or two for them
Okay.
about their country of origin.
Russia?
Russia indeed, Pat.
All the homies hate Russia.
Dude, I don't know. I know it's everything. It's not one thing or the other, but for all these reasons, I cannot stand Russia. I'm trying to do better about Russian people because it's not really their fault.
Well, yeah, they just have a really shitty government.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Up there,
Definitely hate the Russian government,
Mm-hmm.
but it kind of just translates to anything Russian.
No, yeah. Yeah, bunch of
So,
commies.
yeah.
Bunch of commies, bro.
I got scammed. Bunch of money laundering commies.
It's kind of an oxymoron, huh?
Is it?
Well, I guess the only way to make money in a communist state is to do illegal activities. So maybe it's not an oxymoron.
And if you're doing illegal activities, you got to clean that money.
Gotta clean it. Throw it in the washer, baby.
Find some dumbass American kid. I have one of the messages that I sent when I was drunk. I was like, "You fucked with the wrong American."
You start
Like I
fucking-
was gonna do something.
You start blasting Reagan's speech, Mr. Gorbachev.
Bring down that wall. Fuck.
You just start
Yeah.
You just start watching clips from the space race, and you're just like, yeah, "Fuck you." Who's on
I
the
did
moon
actually
now,
know-
bitch?
It was like a week later. I marathoned the Bourne movies, and I was like, he was in Russian. I was like, yeah,
Yeah,
fucking
you killed those KGBs, motherfuckers.
get his ass.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Yeah. So I think we're good. They got a little bit of my information, but nothing's happened yet. So
Did
we'll
you
see.
report, did you report it? Did you like give it like FBI or anything?
No, see, you can report that to the FBI, and I talked to my dad about it, but they're not going to do anything about something like that. So, and I don't feel like being wrapped up in any sort of investigation right now.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah. So whether it was real, fake, scam, or whatever, just moving on.
I'm fucking sore, bro.
You're sore, dude. I am too. Fuck. I was putting together a shelf yesterday. My ass is sore.
I went rock climbing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you're fucking rock climbing dude now, huh? Dude,
Yeah.
bro, man, dude.
I got my belay certificate, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Battlefield
Battlefield. So
2042.
me and Logan here, we are big time gamers, right? Always have been, always been part of like one of the staples of him and I's friendship, you know, whether it was LAN parties back in the day or
No, I'm cool. I'm way cooler than that.
yeah, whatever. So whether it was LAN parties, split screen on Halo, Call of Duty 2, you know, just-
Pod 2 in the living room, bro. Headshot.
just so we've been gaming a long time, and one of the game series that him and I have followed for a very, very long time and played for a very, very long time is Battlefield. And we have not had a iteration of Battlefield that we have played since Battlefield 4, which came out in 2016. So it's been a minute. Been a minute for us to play the Battlefield. And recently, last week, somewhere around in there, last week, Battlefield dropped their trailer for the new Battlefield game, Battlefield 2042. I'm going to pop a small little clip in there for you guys to watch. I do
It
not
better
wanna-
be the one of the fucking dude. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it'll definitely be the Resident Duke, but I can't put a lot of it in there because I don't want to get DMCA'd. But
Fair enough.
because it's playing Kickstart My Heart the whole time, that trailer is possibly the best gaming trailer that has ever come out.
That's a bold statement. I'd say false. What got me harder? Skyrim for sure.
The Assassin's Creed trailers used to be fire also.
Yo, yeah. Oh my lord. Assassin's Creed.
But
Okay.
It-
Anyway,
it-
yeah. No,
this trailer got me incredibly excited because it showed that the Battlefield developers, DICE, have listened over the last 7 years. And we don't want to play in World War I. We don't want to play in World War II. We want something in at least a slightly modern setting for Battlefield,
Right.
because the best Battlefield games were Bad Company 1, Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4.
with that game, the way they build it and the engine that they use, right? This one's going to be Frostbite 4.
I think it's Frostbite 4, yeah.
Yeah, whatever Frostbite engine you're using, it makes for the most realistic combat simulation that I've ever found. Not that I've ever been in combat or anything remotely close to that, right? But that's what I feel like it would.
When it comes to mass produced games that are for console and everybody to play, not like the off-brand shit like Arma or the shit that's
You have Arma.
That's real combat simulation. But when it comes to like creating a game that's still fun to the point where it's not boring like combat, because in a sense, combat in a modern setting is fairly boring. I think for a video game, like in real life, you're getting shot at's not boring, but but for a video game, you don't want to play arm. Like some people like that shit, but when it comes to mass produced games, Battlefield is much more realistic than Call of Duty ever will be.
Yes.
And they create, and for this one, back in the day, we had 32 on 32 games. Now with this new Battlefield, we're having 64 on 64 player, massive multiplayer war simulation games. And
so the Conquest and shit's going to be twice as big as it was.
Literally twice as big. Yes, it's going to be insane. Like one of the things that I really like about one of the details that I've liked about it is on those Conquest type game modes is back in the old Conquest, you had to capture 1 point and you had the whole point. Now, if it's a big point like a stadium or a big area, you have to capture 2 points to have the whole objective.
You got points within the fucking meta.
Exactly. So what that's going to create is that, you have, and what's funny about this game, it's US versus Russia, sort of. They're called expats. And so the whole details of this game is that we're at a point in human history that there's no food, there's nothing else, and the countries have basically dissolved, and these expats are fighting for positions to have control so they can continue to live, and the people can continue to live. So
one more time, what are they?
Expats.
That word you couldn't pronounce earlier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh god.
Continue.
So Battlefield is bringing back what everybody loves about the Battlefield franchise: big, large-scale sandbox warfare. Vehicles, boots on the ground, no fucking jetpacks, no dumb shit like exosuits. And they're bringing a lot of features into it that I think are gonna be really cool. Like when I watched the gameplay reveal a couple days ago, they were in that elevator, and it's sort of like Crysis. I don't know if you ever played the Crysis games, but he threw his weapon up and it opened a whole menu, and you could change your attachments on the fly. That shit's fucking dope. They're putting so much stuff into this game that the community has said for years that the game needs, and they're actually listening to the community instead of doing and repeating the mistakes of Battlefield 5, which was
just regurgitating a game.
Yeah, exactly. And kind of like Call of Duty, which for the last, I don't know, 4 years, they've just been regurgitating content. And I think with Modern Warfare 2019, they had a hit. That's probably the best Call of Duty game they've put out since the original Modern Warfare series and the first couple Black Ops games, right?
I mean, yeah, no, it's totally fine. I like the idea of putting a game out every year, right? But if you're just going to repackage the same shit with a different wrapping, unless you're some smooth brain Neanderthal, like why would you play that game?
So when we talk about like regurgitating games, right, and creating an unfinished package, we just came off the high of Modern Warfare 2019, and they dropped us Cold War, which was horrible.
I really never played it, so I can't say, because honestly, I lost faith after we had Black Ops 4 with Blackout and everything. Sick game. After that, Modern Warfare kind of let me down a little bit. So
I liked Modern Warfare, but the thing that's going to kill not just Call of Duty, but in my opinion, gaming in general, is things like Warzone. Free-to-play games that the only way that those companies continue to make money is by pumping out more half-assed content, and the only thing that they really care about is those microtransactions. You get your skins.
Exactly.
Yep. You get your skins, you get your cool little guns that do cool shit, that shoot blue bullets. They literally doesn't change how you play the game, but for some reason in this era of gaming that we have, that's what we want to spend our money on.
I'm going to take a stab in the dark here, and feel free to tell me I'm wrong or argue with me here, whatever. I'm going to say it's a generational difference surrounding a culture of elitism, right? So back in our day, right, like, this is going to sound bad, but if you were better than someone, you were better than them, right? You were just you were better.
Better
You
at the game.
outplayed them. You were funnier. You fucking told them you were fucking their mom in the party or whatever. You know, I mean, like, you were just better in every regard of the word. And today's like youth or whatever, little Johnny goes and steals his mom's credit card out of her purse, buys the blue fucking bullets, and all of a sudden he feels like now he's the best person in that lobby, even though he's gone 0-19 every fucking round.
And there is a lot of things out there that talk about that, but which I'm going to bring up in just a second. But I think that started that kind of new wave generation of gaming with the new generation of kids who were playing games, and that was Fortnite. It was a free
Agreed.
game. It was addicting.
Agreed.
It was a lot of fun at the beginning.
Agree.
But Fortnite couldn't make money because it was free. So what did they do? They put out microtransactions, and then they came out with a battle pass, and then they came out with all these different ways that you could spend money on their game without ever having to actually buy the game. You didn't have to buy any of those things, but these kids, and they felt the need that, like, well, my friend's got the John Wick skin. I want the John Wick skin.
Exactly.
My friend got the battle pass. I want the battle pass because I want
Dude.
all this meaningless. It's not like the shit that you buy in that game has no meaning. It has
None at all.
It has no tangible value, nothing. It means nothing.
Nope. Dude, battle passes in general, in any game, no matter what it is, it's my least favorite introduction to gaming that I've ever experienced, right? I mean, you think about FIFA, right? FIFA is a great example, I think, because they do every now and then have microtransactions come into the game, right? You can spend $5, $10, $20, whatever, on FIFA coins to buy some more FIFA packs to make your ultimate team better or whatever. And I know that's kind of the same over any EA game, but you get a tangible return on that money, right? You get a 91 overall striker, right? Or a 98 overall goalkeeper, which actually contributes and makes your team better versus like a skin that, changes your color or makes you shoot.
You just look different. Because if you were to download Fortnite today and not have any transactions, no skins, nothing, your default, if you knew technically how to play the game and you learned how to play the game, you could be just as good as anybody else. And that's
100%.
And that's going to bring me to this another point is Activision recognized that. And there's a patent that Activision created that when you buy microtransactions, it gives you easier lobbies based on skill-based matchmaking to make you feel like you're better at the game.
I see where we're going here. Hang on, real quick. I do have one more point on this topic, and it is I really fucking lost it. I lost it when I was talking, and so I was trying to like keep talking so that I could try and get it back. Had to do with like microtransactions or something. Fuck, it was a good one. I don't know. Whatever. We'll keep moving on.
So with Battlefield, they're going to have the season pass, battle pass. They've also announced that there is going to be a free-to-play game mode.
God damn it.
Which I am not upset about either of those things as long as the battle packs do not introduce anything that affects the game. If you want to introduce battle packs and have cosmetics and people want to be stupid enough to buy them, that's on them. But if you introduce the battle pack and there's a weapon in that battle pack or something that's in there that makes you perform better in the game than other people, that's where I start to get issues. What the way that the reason that they continue to do these battle passes in games like Call of Duty and now Battlefield is because it costs money to create content and people want more content. There's only going to be 7 maps at release for Battlefield, which is still really good because the maps are huge. There's so much detail and work that goes into making a Battlefield map compared to a Call of Duty map. But
well, there's always been DLC though.
that's where this battle pass system comes in, because they're now going to not charge for those DLC maps and stuff. So people complained forever. They're like, I don't want to pay $15 for a map pack. I don't want to pay $15 for a map pack. And now it's like, okay, we're not going to make you pay $15 for this map pack. We're introducing this battle pass so we can continue to make money off this, because at the end of the day, it's still a business. They're still trying to make money off their game. So they swapped having DLCs for these battle passes now and other microtransactions. So in a sense, it's good for gaming because we get more content. We don't have to pay for it, and that's awesome.
I don't want shitters playing my games.
Fair.
That's what it comes down to, really. Is just like, I mean, yeah, I'm not even really all for content. I remember my point. So I felt like during that Fortnite era, especially, right? At some point, that default character is going to become rare.
Yeah.
That default character is going to become the cool one. You know,
weird to see a default character. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be weird.
There was a whole thing on Fortnite for a long time where people would talk about. This is like right at the end of when I stopped paying attention to Fortnite, which wasn't very long into the life, but they would talk about, oh fuck, it's a default skin, because the sweats would use default skins.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, I'm all for content, but it's got to be the right kind of content. You know, it's got to be map packs, you know, a new map or something. Yeah, that changes weapons, the dynamic of the game.
New vehicles.
I could be down for that. Yeah, but like, if you're just
for free.
Okay, if you just push out a bunch of skins and shit like what Call of Duty's done, though, I'm not here for it.
So, and that brings me to my next point with, I think there has been a very rapid decline in the gaming community in the last 5 years, and I do still attribute it to not just Fortnite, but the addition of Battle Royale.
Well, I think it's a decline in, I don't want to say mainstream games, but first-person shooters for sure. A lot of the games that we play in general, right?
Content?
But I think some games.
So there's a reason Warzone's still popular. What else is worth playing
right now?
That's fair. That's fresh. And so people keep going to Warzone, and I deleted it. I hate the game. Yeah. I don't want to play it anymore. You deleted it. You don't want to play the game anymore. We have friends who talk about not wanting to play it anymore because it's not anything really special, but it's the best thing that's fresh that's out there. And that's what brings me into this next point, is that content creators and Twitch and YouTube have destroyed what was special about gaming, which was making your own decisions and thinking for yourself and just playing the game.
Right. I mean, yeah, you have little kids or even grown people, right, watching these people play, and they're like, oh, that's a good idea. I'm gonna try and do that next time. I mean, that's good. It I feel like does create a sort of tighter sense of community, but at the same time, yeah, you don't have that authentic, that organic interaction with the game anymore. That's just like you playing the game, figuring it out, you know, on your own. You have a bunch of Nigmerks wannabes.
Right. So the issue that I really have with these content creators is that they create content they know is going to get clicks. They're not going to create content of like, oh, check out this cool thing I did, or check out like something that's actually going to be entertaining to watch. It's especially with Nickmercs. And I'm going to talk a lot of shit about this guy because I fucking can't stand him. And yes, I liked him. I liked him when I first started watching his content. And he got big off Fortnite. He'd been gaming for a long time. Twitch has been around for a while. And he had, you know, he never really had the viewership that he has now, but he got big off Fortnite and even bigger off Warzone. And what he does is he creates these videos on YouTube of, this is the best AR in this game. You have to use this right now. And that creates metas. And games like Warzone should not have metas. Games like Siege, you're going to have metas because it's tactical and you have strategies that you have to do to win. But
there are metas that counter each other's metas.
Exactly. But the meta in Warzone, there is no counter to those types of things because the best gun's going to be the best gun. If I want to use what I like and the gun that I think's fun to use, or the strategy that I think's fun for me, I'm just going to get beamed from across the map with this kid who's using the cheesy fucking gun that I couldn't afford because I didn't want to buy the battle pass. And I don't put in the hours
Exactly.
because I have a job and I'm not going to do the work that it takes to unlock it myself.
Exactly. And I'm unemployed. So, I mean, I can. And I'm going to be the kid cheesing you up from across the map.
It's just not these content. And I really hope that they don't get a hold of Battlefield.
I would agree 100% with that. I hope that Battlefield can really sort of reinvigorate, right, what it was to play an online game with your boys, right? Like really remake that Modern Warfare 2 party or that Modern Warfare party, right? Holy cow. The feeling that you had, right, of, oh, I unlocked a new gun, I'm gonna go try it out. And oh, it's fucking sick, but your other boy hates that gun and won't stop talking shit about it. So you got to tell him what's good, you know?
And quick plug real quick. We've been playing Battlefield 4 a lot lately. So follow me on Twitch. We stream often.
Yes, sir. I was about to say, it's a little ironic. You just shit on Twitch streamers.
So let's talk about that, right? I talk shit about these streamers and stuff, and they're popular, and I go and I watch, and I think part of the fun with Twitch, especially when it first started, is that you're interacting with that person you're watching with. Nick Merckx has 100,000 people watching him. Are you watching him because you're having fun watching him play the game and the content he's creating is fun? Because I think Nick Merckx is stale. I don't think he's funny. I don't think that he might be pretty decent at the game, but I don't get entertained by watching him. I don't get entertained by a lot of big time streamers. The biggest streamer that I really watch and pay attention to is a Rocket League streamer, and he still gets 3,000 viewers a stream, but he's still capable of interacting with chat and doing the things that's fun about Twitch.
And you feel like you, in a stream of 3,000 people, can interact with that person.
Yeah, and even just interact with chat. You can talk with the other people who are talking when you watch. You can't do that on a Nick Merckx stream because there's 100,000 people watching,
which is just ridiculous. Like this, I feel like it's a whole nother issue. Like 100,000 people in this world have time in their days to watch a man play video games.
And this is gonna shit on Twitch a little bit. I don't really watch Twitch. When Forky comes on and plays Rocket League, I'll watch him, because if I'm not already gaming or I'm not already doing something else and I'm just killing some free time, I'll watch him play. But he's really the only one out of all the people I follow that I actually genuinely watch.
Gotcha.
And it blows my mind that you're right. Why are there 100,000 people? Like, there's billions of people in this world. But why are there 100,000 people who have time in their day that they're not doing something?
A man play video games.
Yeah, a man that's neck is bigger than the fucking moon. Fucking Nick Merckx, and he's not. I don't know, man. It's fucking crazy.
Nah, it really is. I mean, I can't talk shit though. I mean, like, I can and I will, because do something with your life. But at the same time, like, if that's what you enjoy, man, good for you, you know? Like, I'm happy that you're happy, but me personally, would rather go play the game myself, or, you know, do whatever. Else. Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna,
I mean, I kind of like resonate with that a little bit. I joined a meeting on a Twitter space today on Bitcoin with like 1,500 people in it, just to listen to these guys talk about Bitcoin, which like is kind of similar, but
you're bettering yourself. You're learning something.
Yeah, it has a little bit more real world application. Yeah, but it's kind of the same thing, right?
It's kind of like people kill time watching Netflix or watching movies or whatever. That's just entertainment, right? If we want to dive deep into that, like, Twitch is just another realm of entertainment. You're getting entertained by watching someone else play video games, which I think is asinine, even though I stream and people watch me and I think it's fun for me. And I want people to keep.
It's got to be fun to stream. I enjoy it when you stream and we're playing together, because it is fun. It is fun to like have people watching you and to be being funny with your boys. Yeah, no, I like it. I mean, I think that's part of the reason we made this podcast, you know?
Yeah. And
just because it's fun.
With my stream, like as cool as it would be to be a full-time streamer and make that kind of, because they're millionaires. They're making a fuck ton of money. Nick Merckx has like 2 houses. Tim the Tap Man has 2 houses. They make shit tons of money. And that would be cool to get to that level. But realistically, and with my goals and what I want with my life, I don't want to be Nick Merckx. I don't want to be Tim the Tap Man. I don't want to be these full-time streamers who are making millions of dollars playing video games. As cool as it would be, it doesn't do it for me. It's not a life goal for me.
I think I agree with you halfway. I think if a game were to come out or whatever, like we were to, I mean, I'm unemployed now, so maybe, you know, if I were to get really fucking good at a game, right? And maybe not like Nick Merckx, but like make money just because I'm the fucking shit at this game, right? Start competing, esports, whatever.
I would be okay
or
with
stream because I'm good and people watch me because I make good shit plays and whatever.
Yeah.
I'd be okay with that. But people watching me because I'm like, you got to check out this new gun. This one's the one. Don't watch
YouTube. What's going on there, man? Listen. And they all have the same fucking thumbnails on their YouTube videos where it's just either Nick Merckx fucking or it's the fucking like it's stale. Stop.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
And competing is one thing. If you're good at a game and you could make it to a professional level team to play a fucking video game, it's the same as playing sports to me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, there is esports are real, right? I mean, it's not, I don't know how much of a sport it is, but it's a competition.
It's a competition.
100, all the competitions.
I think it's a sport. I don't think there takes any athleticism where I think that's where people diverge when they talk
This is an interesting conversation. Yeah. What makes a sport, Pat? Do you have to have an athletic?
No, there has to be a competitive nature to it, and there has to be a winner. That's it.
I think you need some sort of athletic component to be a sport.
I don't.
You would consider chess a sport?
Sure. You're working your mind out.
Okay.
They're some of the smartest people in the world, chess players.
They are some of the smart. They are. What about
shit like bowling or cornhole?
Both require at least some sort of physical movement.
So does gaming. Your hand-to-eye reactions that you see on some of these fucking players is insane.
Their reaction time is insane, sure.
But that's still fine muscle movement that they're having to, and that's muscle memory.
I mean, is it muscle memory?
It may not be exaggerated like playing hockey where you have to use your entire body, but yeah.
Sure. I'm not saying it has to be, but you can have fine muscle memory when you're bowling. Yeah, for sure.
Same with gaming.
But you still have large scale physical movements.
Yeah. So a lot of people.
Let me put it this way: if you can put on weight while playing your sport, it's not a sport. And by put on weight, I mean you know what I mean.
Fat. I was gonna say like
you know what I mean. you any sport you're gonna put on weight, but yeah, you know what I mean. If you get fat by playing your sport, might not be a sport. That's an opinion.
No, I agree with that. And I think that especially for me in gaming and like if I were a professional gamer, and there's a lot of big time streamers and esports professionals who are like this, they work out and go to the gym a lot, but there's a lot that don't.
You have to, I feel like if
you should have
you have to.
I think it would better you anyway. I mean, working out's a natural antidepressant.
Exactly. Not that it should be required, but you should have to, because if you're going to compete at that level, you need your body and your mind to be at the top of their game, right? Like your mind is part of your body. It has to be at the top of its game if you're going to be a professional competitor.
And so, but with the thing that you see in gaming, you see a lot of people, again, like Nick Merckx, who works out a shit ton. Dude's huge. He's also 5'4", so he looks like a gremlin, but he's huge.
Are we sure he's not juiced?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
It changes my opinion of him slightly.
I don't put steroids back in baseball, bro. I don't give a shit. Make it entertaining again.
Really?
Let the pitchers have foreign substances. Let the hitters hit. Let's make baseball exciting again. Let's make baseball exciting again.
Dude, give me a can of Spider Tack, I'll go pro.
I know. Dude, I've been watching. I've been into this shit lately because it's been bad this year. It's been bad, or at least it's been noticed that it's bad this year because these pitchers out there's whoever that fucking that pitcher for the Yankees that has been
Garrett Cole.
Thank you. Who has been off the walls, lights out. They caught him. His spin rates dropped 40%. Ah!
What did they say he was using Spider Tack?
It was Spider Tack or Pine Tar. It was somewhat similar for the fine.
Pine Tar and Spider Tack are different.
It's some sort of foreign substance.
So here's my thing, and I'm going to steal this from a post on Twitter I saw, but Pine Tar. Oh fuck! What were the other? He listed three substances.
I saw this post too. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those are one thing. It might not be the most ethical thing to be doing, but it doesn't necessarily help you pitch better. Spider Tack very literally increases your spin rate.
So with all of this talk about foreign substance going on in baseball right now, the one pitcher who is still lights out and is probably one of the best pitchers to come out of anything in a long time. DeGrom.
He's the best pitcher that we've seen in our lifetime, 100%.
Better than Roy Halladay?
Unfortunately, yes.
Until he pitches a perfect game, he's still not better than Roy Halladay.
Okay, a perfect game is one thing. You're right.
He also has he also has only given up 4 runs this season.
He's driven in from the plate as a pitcher more runs than he's given up.
Oh, dude, he's lights out, man. And I don't like the Mets, but I will watch Jacob deGrom pitch any day of the week.
I kind of fuck with the Mets a little bit.
Not
so much like Francisco Lindor, but
I don't hate the Mets, but also
I liked him with Noah Syndergaard because he was sick and pumped gas.
The Rockies have beaten the Padres the last 3 games. What is going on?
I saw 2 games. I didn't see.
Is it 2? I thought it might have been 3.
I only saw the last 2 games, so I don't know.
Maybe it's 2.
But yeah, no. San Diego went and dropped the bank on their lineup, and they can't beat the Rockies.
They're still leading the West.
Can't beat the Rockies. No one here. Leading the West, whatever. Can't beat the Rockies. Rockies are dog shit ass, so let's be real.
That makes me not want to fucking care about them anymore.
Honestly, oh god, and it hurts to say, but part of me is just sell the franchise, dude. Get rid of it.
There's too much money. There's too much money. There's too much money.
Everyone. So this is the argument that always comes to my mind for any Denver sports team is that Denver's a small market. It's not. It's just not.
And the reason that it's not, and I think the people that ignore the reason that it's not is because it draws in crowds from those other states that surround us.
Colorado, maybe it's a small market. Also, Colorado's growing exponentially as a state right now. But when you start including Wyoming, Utah, who doesn't have a baseball team, New Mexico, who doesn't have a baseball team, has a farm team for the Rockies. Montana doesn't have a baseball team.
South Dakota, North Dakota.
Well, I mean, you get too far, what is that, east, Kansas City starts picking us off, So.
If you live in Kansas, but you're not near Kansas City, how do you choose?
Yep.
What do you think? Do you choose what's
I'd say up to Salina. Salina is where I draw the line.
That's a good line.
Everything between the Kansas border and Salina is just eastern Colorado, East Colorado.
To me, Colorado.
It's we're so shitty. We don't want to be associated with Kansas, so we're going to try and associate with Colorado to make ourselves seem less shitty.
I think the other way around. It's Colorado doesn't start till you get to Lyman and you can see the mountains.
That's also a good point, though. But I mean, Colorado has always been a melting pot of states, right? You've always had the Eastern Plains, you've always had Northern Colorado, you've always had meth capital of the world. You've always had, that's El Paso County, Colorado Springs. You've always had the mountains, right? And then even southwestern Colorado with Durango and Mesa Verde down in that corner is like a whole different demographic. So like Colorado has always been this just hodgepodge of area.
Yeah.
But like between Burlington and Salina, that's the asshole of America.
I don't think it's the asshole of America.
You're right. It's the armpit. It's the armpit.
It's not even. It's not even that. It's just the point that you never wash when you're washing your back.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it.
Because there are parts like, for me, I'm really obsessed with living not around anybody. So I would live in those areas because I don't want to have neighbors. I want to be left the fuck alone.
I'm with you there. I don't want to have neighbors, but I don't want to live 2 hours from Walmart.
It's also not pretty, and it's also not around any sort of civilization. If I were to live in the middle of nowhere, I would still live within a half hour to where I could go get things that I need. Like my grandpa. My grandpa lives in Nebraska, and he has a farm, and it's gorgeous. I love the area that he lives in. It's green, and there's rolling hills, and there's trees everywhere. It's not like the Nebraska that people think about, but he's 30 minutes from Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean, like, and that's not to just shit all over Kansas, right? Like Wichita, you get into what's that army base there off I-80?
I-70. I-80's through
I-70.
I-70 through Fort Riley.
Yeah, because that's in the hills. That's a gorgeous area.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's where Kansas starts to look good. Once you hit Riley,
you're
going through those hills into Kansas City by the Missouri River. That area is very pretty.
Yeah, agreed. And then I mean, Kansas City is kind of like a zit, but
I'm a fan, but it's whatever. I've lived there for too long, and I know the good parts. So
that was a pretty good first episode back, though, huh?
Yeah, no, we need to get back on the weekly schedule.
Yeah, we definitely do. And I mean, like,
with my schedule,
we got a lot.
With my schedule of work right now, it might be difficult, but when I have the day, we need to do it on the day that we have to do it.
Yeah, so we got to start it when we plan it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Just get through it.
Yeah, and I think one of the things we need to think about as soon as we're done with this one is just immediately talking about what we want to talk about the next one.
And that's what I was going to get into with our 4 weeks off. I mean, we covered a lot here in this episode, but I think we still have a lot to cover. And actually, real quick, before we end this episode, you can stick this in with your editing skills at the very last second. I was asked to do a review of Destiny 2. I haven't played that game in years. It was a pretty good game when it came out. I played it a little bit with one of our buddies just a few months ago, and I got a gun called the Honey Badger. It was pretty sick. But other than that, it's super repetitive. Super repetitive. You're doing the same shit over and over and over again, and it's cool to have dungeons and shit in a first person shooter. I like the idea, but give me some variety. That's all I have to say on that. So,
but yeah, I think we start planning, so for the viewers and everything, this episode we were going to talk about Israel and Palestine, but
we were going to get into it. It's actually not old. It got revived this afternoon.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I almost texted you and was like, hey, do we actually want to throw this in now? But we can save that for next week. But
I have a whole Apple Notes of shit I was ready to argue with you with, brother.
Dude, you said you did your research and took notes, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I have a degree in this shit, so like it's not shouldn't be hard for me to just bullshit.
I don't have a degree, but I'm still smart.
But that's what you were like, I did my research and I was like, fuck, I don't want to look dumb. Also, I was drunk as fuck and I was like in my feelings. But
yeah, it'd be like that. Anyway, third episode. Third episode, we're gonna talk about the majority, like this was another fucking off the cuff kind of episode. We had ideas we wanted to talk about, but third episode, we're definitely going to have a set topic after we talk about F1, most likely.
And we'll get into something. We'll get something hopefully controversial for you guys, so that you can actually see us kind of butt heads a little bit.
Yeah, and butting heads doesn't mean that we're arguing or being mad at each other. We're butting heads because we have differing opinions, which is okay. But We'll be arguing, but we're not going to hate each other afterward. And that's the important part of this, is that you can have those tough conversations and still come out of those conversations. You gain something, you learn something, and you may be able to change your opinion on that, on those kind of things. And I think that's important for people to keep an open mind on things. An open mind is something that is rare nowadays. We all have our set way. Like everybody thinks everything needs to be right and left. And I highly disagree with that.
I don't know if it's right and left, but yeah, no, I mean, I agree with what you said. Like everybody just feels like what they think is correct or is the way the world is. I mean, you said it, there's 7.5, 8 billion people on this planet, right? Like 7.5, 8 billion different realities. So
yeah. 7.5, 8 billion people who want to argue with me on Twitter for being from Colorado.
There's about, I don't know what's the population of Russia. However many Russians trying to scam you boys. So
yeah, sometimes it just do be like that.
It'd be like that, you know. That should be our tagline for the show.
It do be like that.
Sometimes it do be like that.
All right, Dinger.
All right. Well, Pat, it's good talking to you.
Good talking to you, brother.
Dinger oot. Okay.
Time out. We're gonna. This is for me to know when I edit. I'm gonna cut everything until you said what's next, and then I want you to come back in and say Pat rides an airplane like you just did. I am gonna shit my pants.
All right.
Okay. Sorry. Korean food, you know. Said sorry, Korean food, you know.
Oh yeah, the dog bulgogi.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
Andrea's giving my dad facials.
Should be the other way around, you know what I'm saying? That should be a blooper for sure.